This is my potato bread stuffed with mushrooms, and it's really, really easy to do. You can see I've got some white onions that have been diced already nice and fine, and I'll grab a few of these garlic cloves as well. Now, if you've already got crushed garlic in the fridge, use that, but nothing beats fresh garlic that's been smashed on the spot. Now, I'm also going to use some mushrooms, and these are white button mushrooms. These are the simplest and easiest mushrooms that you'll find. And I like to tell people when you do buy mushrooms, pop them in a paper bag. So it's always good to buy good Australian mushrooms from your supermarket or your veg shop. Just chop them up a bit with a knife, up and down like this, until they're nice and sort of reasonably finely chopped. And once they're like this, they're ready to go. Now, in goes some olive oil here, extra virgin olive oil, great flavour, and then in goes the onion and the garlic. We want a little bit of sizzle going on, and once you've sweated them off like this, just coated those onions and garlic in the oil, I can throw the mushrooms straight in here. They'll cook up beautifully together. In they go. And you really get the smell of the mushrooms when you put them into the pan almost straight away. And these will fry up beautifully. Now, to add some flavour to the mushrooms, I like to add some herbs, and some thyme is beautiful. Now, this is fresh thyme, and I'll just chop it all the way through. All those little green stems cook up beautifully and have a lovely flavour. Throw them straight in the pan. And while this is simmering away, I'll get some chives and chop all this all the way. And this is a special bread that I'm making with a potato dough. Kind of like a gnocchi, but I'll show you about that in a second. So once you've got this all cut up like that, and I'll throw them in now. I want all this flavour to just come together beautifully. There we go. And then give that a bit of a toss around like that. Now, this is the next part of it. This is the actual dough. What you'll see here is some potato that I've steamed. So steam them till the knife goes through them, and then I'll put them through a ricer and mash them up like this. If you don't have a ricer, mash them up with a fork or a potato masher. That's all you need to do. Now, flour is what's going to bind it all together. It is a bread, so I want plenty of flour in there. And I usually put about a third of the amount of flour to potato. Okay, and I'll add an egg to the middle of it here, give it a crack like that, and then break it into the centre. Then all you need to do is add a pinch of salt to this and mix it around. I'll mix this around with my fingers, and by the time my dough's mixed together, I reckon this will be cooked and it will be delicious. My dough's made, it's sitting on the bench here. I let it rest for a couple of minutes. Now you can see the mushrooms have come together beautifully. Lots of great flavour going on there. And I'll just use the spatula to wipe it all down and pop it onto the plate. I'm using a heavy plate here, and that'll help to take a lot of the heat out of those mushrooms so I can stuff it in the middle of the potato. Now, if you want to, you can add just a touch more flavour, which I'll do, with just a little bit of lemon zest. And of course, if you like some chilli, a little sprinkle of chilli on top. Now, mushrooms are actually a fungi. They're not a vegetable. A lot of people think they are, but they're another species altogether. Lots of varieties in there, but fungi is a great thing to eat. There are so many different types and really, really good for you. Now, I'll cut up the dough into a couple of more manageable pieces. It's about the palm of my hand, maybe a little bit smaller than a tennis ball once I roll it up. I'll dip it in a little bit of flour, and then with my finger and thumb, I just open it up like this till it's got a bit of thinness to it. You can see it's a round piece. I could roll it around on a board, but I think just like this is probably the easiest way to do it. Grab some of the mushroom mixture, pop it in the centre here like this. It's about a tablespoon there, and then very carefully pinch it together. So I've got a nice layer of the potato bread around it and the mushroom stuffing on the inside. And then carefully just flatten it out with your hands like this. And then I've got the pan here on already. I'm not even going to worry about getting another one. Pop a little bit of olive oil on here. Make sure it's on a medium temperature, and then pop it into the pan. There you go. That was easy, wasn't it? I'll do a few more of these and I'll show you what they look like when they're cooked. Okay, once they've been cooked off, they're nice and brown. You just take them out and pop them on a plate. If you want to, you can pop a little bit of butter in at the end, and that makes them even more luscious. Now, these are looking fantastic, so I'll put them on like that. A little bit of green herb over the top of it, Looks fantastic, so I'm gonna have to tuck into it and show you how delicious they are. I'll take this one here and then cut him in half. You can see the mushrooms through the middle. You can see that lovely potato bread around the outside. I'll cut a little wedge of that so you can really have a little taste of that. It's red hot, but I'm gonna tuck into it. Those mushrooms are divine. Lovely flavour in there, exactly what you want, and the bread holds it together beautifully. Nice and crisp on the outside, and believe me, nice and hot.